So example number 2 says we're going to use the partial products and distributive property to calculate the area of the rectangular patio shown below. Calculating area. It's a rectangle, right?
Yes.
How do I find the area of a rectangle? Multiplying what? Length times width. Okay. So how can I use the distributive property here? I know that I have to, my area is going to equal length times width. Here, it doesn't really matter which is which. I can say this is my length, or this is my width, or this is my length, this is my width. So I'm going to use the distributive property. I'm going to distribute 500 to my 22 and my 1200s. Right? So I can say this 500 is being multiplied by the whole thing. Here's my 22, and here's my 1200s. So I need to find the area of this. That's one partial product. Then the area of this little tiny rectangle. That's another partial product, right? What does it mean to distribute something again? If I'm distributing candy, what am I doing? I'm passing it out. So I see that I have 500, and I need to pass out the 500 to the 22 and 1200s. So sometimes it's helpful to draw arrows just to kind of give you a visual cue on what I'm doing. So now I'm going to pass out 500 to my 22 because that's my whole number. And then I'm going to pass out my 500 to my 1200s because that's my decimal number. So this now becomes 500 times 22 plus 500 times 1200s. All right? So using the same tool I did last time, I'm not going to write out the standard algorithm. I'm just going to use my knowledge of place value. I see that the 500 has a bunch of zeros. Before I even start, what can I write down and already take out most of the 500? Zeros. How many? Why do I write down 2 of them? Because there's 2 zeros there. Okay, so that's going to work. Now I look at the only digit left behind, which is the 5. What is 5 times 2? So I can write down another 0. Regroup the 1. What's 5 times 2? 10 plus 1 is?
11.
Now I look at my second partial product. Hey, guess what? There's that 500 again. I'm distributing it. Right? So I see that 500 ends with how many zeros? 2. So how many zeros do I get to write down? 2. 1, 2. Now I look at my hundreds place and I multiply that by the hundredths and the tenths. What's 5 times 2? So I can write down a 0, regroup the 1. What is 5 times 1? 5. And 5 plus 1 is?
6.
Now I see that my decimal is there. I don't like multiplying with decimals. I like multiplying with whole numbers. So how can I pretend as if this was a whole number? I can bounce my decimal out, right? How many times would I have to bounce it out to make it a whole number? How many digits are in 1200s? I see 1, 2. So when you guys do this, you just say, write it out, and you go 1 digit, 2 digits. And then now I basically pretending as if that 1200ths is just a 12, because I bounced out my decimal 2 different places. But now my multiplication is done. I need to bounce it back in because it was there all along, right?
Yeah.
So here's where I would start. Then how many times do I have to bounce it back in? Why? Because I bounce it out. So 1, 2. So let's look at my partial products. I have 11,000 and I have 60. One partial product, another partial product. Here's the area of this rectangle. Here's the area of this rectangle. What do I do to find the area of the whole rectangle? What do I do to find the area of the whole rectangle? Well, I've got one rectangle, then I have another rectangle. What do I do to find the total? Add. It's just addition. You add together the partial products, right? So what is 11,000 plus 60?
11,060.
Yes, 11,060. I add my ones places. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 tens plus 0 tens, 6. 0 hundreds plus 0 hundreds is 0. 1,000 plus 0 is 1,000. 1 10,000 plus 0 is 10,000. Go place value by place value. Nothing's stopping me from stacking them and doing it, but it's much easier not to have to rewrite it, right?